Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. So today we're asking the question, what will happen if I take the risk? So this could be any kind of risk. It could actually be a small one as well as a very large one, and it could be in any area of your life. So just take the message as it resonates and as it makes sense to you and adapt it to your own life, because remember that this is a general reading aimed at a lot of people, so it can be quite vague in parts. And of course, as always, risk is a risky thing, and so you shouldn't just unhesitatingly take a risk without careful thought and risk assessment. You know, don't do anything silly that can't be taken back or easily repaired. And that's just my general advice anyway, regardless of the tarot reading. So we have option 1, 2 and 3. I will put the timestamps to these 3 readings in the comment section and in the description box. In the description box you will find everything you need in regards to getting a private reading with me, the names of the decks I use and the links, my Instagram and everything. Everything you'll need will be in the description box or in the about page, so just look in those 2 places. So now I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, relax and think about your potential risk that you want to take. So this thing that you want to do that is quite risky and you feel intimidated by or anxious about. Don't allow those feelings to overwhelm you. Just feel relaxed about it and think, what will happen if you take the risk? When you feel ready, make your choice, and always trust your first instinct and don't doubt yourself. If you need a little bit more time, then please press pause, because I'm now going to be moving on to the readings. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, this is your reading. As always, it's up to you to decide how you're going to apply the messages offered in the cards. Because it's risk, I'm going to say don't take any unnecessary risks, and you can moderate and reduce the amount of risk in any new venture as long as you research, are practical and take suitable precautions. You don't have to avoid all risky situations, but there's no point being stupid and making them dangerous. So these 3 cards represent you not taking the risk, you staying as you are now. And remember, that's a choice. You can delay the option, you can reject the risk and stay as you are. That's a choice, and it's not for, you know, it doesn't have to be a bad choice. But what's on offer for you if you stay as you are? We've got the Universe, which is the World card. The Hermit, another major arcana, and 2 of Cups. Isn't that interesting? That's unexpected, because that's not a bad little selection. Anyway, so what's on offer for you? I think fulfillment, actually. So for some of you, you know, you're thinking about a risk, but you're not sure whether it's worth it, because you might have great opportunities, possibilities, a great life anyway. And if you stay as you are, I think you will find fulfillment. If you're already fulfilled by this life, but you're just thinking, am I being a bit stagnant and is it time to move on? For a lot of you, you know, you'll probably be all right, you know, or at least you'll be emotionally in yourself fine. Because we have the Universe, the World card of completion, everything. What's on offer? Retreat, mental retreat, introspection, a lesson to be learned. The Hermit goes off to learn a lesson with, you know, silently within, with no distractions at all. When they find the answer, they come back out into the world and share their message as a teacher or a mentor. So for a lot of you, by not taking the risk, by, you know, for some of you maybe not going on the adventure, you're going to gain an inner wisdom, a maturity, an understanding of the world maybe, it's just going to be different. This is why I'm saying it's not always necessarily a bad thing not to take a risk. You're going to get something at the end of it. It will just be different to taking the risk. And I think for a lot of you, this isn't a case of, oh, I'm going to really miss out if I don't take this opportunity, do this risky thing. It's more, I feel, the focus in, well, what will I lose if I do take the risk? Because you've got the Two of Cups, and so for some of you, there's a relationship, or the potential relationship that's what's on offer. It could be a friendship or a great business relationship. I'm not going to limit it to love because it's such a generalised reading. The Two of Cups are two people that are in accord, that they're sharing mutual feelings, and for some that's respect, others that's love, and for some of you that's just about being friends and good colleagues, or even can be like family. It's a shared emotion, a union of some sort, and that's what's on offer for you. And I mean, that's that's good actually. So not taking the risk, you've got quite a good option there. Just take a drink. So now I'm intrigued, because these three cards are meant to represent what's on offer for you if you do take the risk, if you take the jump. And again, I don't know what the risk is. The Hierophant. So actually there's still wisdom to be learned. What's on offer? I think it's not challenging the status quo because it's a Hierophant, but it's about learning something, about learning a tradition, or continuing a tradition. So if you take the risk, you're going to carry something on. Judgment. You're going to hear a new call. You're going to have a new beginning, a new start. You're going to be reborn again into something new. I mean, the obvious connection is like becoming like born again in like converting to a religion. Some of you, if you take the risk of converting to an active religion, because it's the Hierophant, but it doesn't. It can be converting to an established way of thinking that's more traditional rather than religious or spiritual. It could be coming to a point of view that is a shared point of view. It could be political, ethical, moral. It doesn't have to be religious, although for some of you it can. This is, just from these two cards, this is hearing a call to be with others and follow others and be part of the crowd. By staying as you are, it's about being an individual and more on a one-to-one connection. Being fulfilled in your individuality and solitude, but also with just one other person. Whereas this feels, let's see what this says, 10 of Cups. Yeah, this feels about more being out in the world, whereas that is more like a retreat from the world. So I think what's on offer if you take the risk is that you will be just as happy. I mean, we've got the 10 of Cups, which is happily ever after, being completely happy, dreams come true, just sort of everything's there. Yeah, happy family, all the rest of it. So I think you'll be very, very emotionally happy. Overall, I think that you're all right either way. Isn't that interesting? But just from different perspectives. It's more solitary, and this is more about being out in the world. Even though you've got the world here, this is about fulfillment. This is about being, part of the crowd, and realizing that there's something new, that there's a new you, that you're going to learn something new, you're going to become a different person. It's like hearing the call to leave the old behind and come into the new. So by taking the risk, you will, I think, become a different person and become a newer person. But you will, again, I feel, by staying where you are, but the wisdom will come from within, whereas I feel the wisdom will come from other people with this taking the risk. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah. I suppose it's what you want in the end, who you want to be and what you want to explore. About going out into the world or staying in your own little world. Do you want to stay in your own little world, your own little cocoon with you and your person? or your niche or narrow group of people, or do you want to come out in a sense of into the world, out of the wilderness, out to where other people are, and having a different sort of emotional connection there? Well, those of you that chose option 1, that's your reading. What will happen if you take the risk? Good things either way, I think, really. It's just a matter of your perspective. So you can let me know in the comments section if you want how this all goes. If you want to book a private reading with me, you can. Everything you need to know is in the description box, and you can email me on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com. I wish you all the best of luck with whatever it is that represents the risk for you. Please take very good care of yourself, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 2, this is your reading. Like I said to the others, it's entirely up to you how you adapt this to your situation, but also don't forget that staying as you are is an option. That if you're not ready, or the risk is too risky and you can't reduce the risk, the impact of it, you might decide to stay where you are and see if there's a better opportunity later on. That's a choice. You do have the freedom to choose between staying as you are or taking the risk, and both options should be explored fully. But these represent the staying as you are, rejecting the risk, deciding to not take it, to just carry on the way that you are. So what's on offer if you stay as you are? 8 of Cups, 6 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. Okay. It just looks to me like it doesn't matter. I think whatever's happening is ending. Where if you stay where you are, it's going to end for you anyway, basically. Emotionally moving on, leaving something behind that no longer works. It's done, it's dusted. I mean, really, it sort of looks like it should be that way around, that something's finished, you have to mentally retreat, move on from it, let it go, and then emotionally let it go. It's about, in your mind and your heart, letting something go because it's dead. That's it. It's done anyway. For those of you that don't want to take the risk, I think it's happening. Whatever's your current life is literally done its job. It's finished its cycle. It's dead in the water. It's time. It's going to be moving on time, and it's moving on in a sense without you. For some of you, this is that's interesting. Yeah, it's just going to happen. I'm just trying to think, could there be another scenario? What's on offer for you if you stay as you are? You're going to be moving on from something, someone, mentally, emotionally, moving on, letting it end, letting it die, which is intriguing because it almost is like, what happens if you take the risk? But it's not. It's saying if you stay as you are, something's going to be done with, finished. So if you decide to take the risk, what's on offer for you if you do take the risk? We've got the Knight of Swords, so it's coming forward with a new truth, a new message even, you know, but coming forward, taking action with what you say and the way that you think. King of Pentacles is a great abundance and self-sufficiency. It's about being, you know, he's the rich provider, he's the dad card, he's the one that goes out, earns a good wage, and brings home the bacon, as they say. It's about somebody that's empowered and self-sufficient and completely comfortable with their own authority. So if you take the risk, instead of being somebody that's perhaps passively having these things happen to them, that there's emotions moved on, that people move away and sort of in a sense being left alone because it's happening anyway without you liking it, you can start to take action with what the direction where you're going, the way your thought processes are going towards a feeling of abundance and creation, and about being, you know, financially stable in what you have, your assets and what you're creating. And you also have the Four of Pentacles, so you're going to be able to protect what's important to you, about keeping to yourself, keeping close to your chest the things that you know are important to you and need protecting. You know, by taking the risk, some of you are going to find that you're going to need to be a bit frugal. Excuse me. You're going to need to be a bit frugal. Maybe there might not be, you know, you might start to being a bit thrifty. You're not without, this isn't the Five of Pentacles, you're not without and in need, but you are thinking about counting the pennies, like you've got enough, but you're thinking, well, if I just put a little bit away, if I don't spend what I don't need to spend and I put a bit away and sort of conserve your income and your what you've got in your life, it will last for longer. And you know, and if you've got a limited income, it's a good idea not to go mad spending, because you're not going to be able to pay it back, are you, or pay for it or afford it. So yeah, actually there's a lot, you know, there's, those look quite dire, but they're not, they're quite positive. There's moving on and things happening and changing. It's only if you're feeling that you don't want it to that's bad. But if you do take the risk, although you might think, oh, the Four of Pentacles card about being, you know, protective over what's important, that's actually a good thing. You should protect what's important. But there's definitely moving forward with purpose in what you want to create and the way you want to live, I think, really. He's a rich man, he's the King of Pentacles, so it's about how you want to be rich and what you want to be rich with and what you want to protect. And it's about more, the things that are more important than money as well. It doesn't have to be exclusively about, you know, earning a good wage. It's about, you know, protecting what's important to you. So actually, by taking the risk, I think there's going to be a lot of development about understanding what you stand for, what's important to you, what must be protected, and what you keep to yourself. So those of you that chose option 2, that's your reading. It's a bit unexpected from my perspective, but yeah, I do feel for a lot of you, you might find that there's no staying where you are, whether you like it or not, and that sense of powerlessness can be quite upsetting and debilitating. So don't let it. Just focus on the opportunities that are to be had by moving on and taking the risk. Find the opportunities that surround you and move forward with purpose and keeping your mind on the goal and what the plan is. And I suspect the plan is to be fruitful and abundant and have everything you need. And focus on protecting what's really important. It's like prioritising paying your rent and paying for the utilities before buying some expensive shoes or something. Yeah. So those of you that chose option 2, that's your reading. You can leave me a comment if you so desire. If you want to sorry, something just dropped. If you want to book a private reading with me, then you can find everything in the description box. Please take very good care of yourself. I wish you all the best of luck for the future, whatever you decide to do. And thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Hello, those of you that chose option 3. This is your reading. Now remember with this, what will happen if you take the risk, that not taking the risk is just as a valid option as taking the risk. You know, it's about valuing what you've already got versus what you could potentially get if you move on, take a chance, do the, you know, jump in the deep end, all the rest of it. But you don't have to do anything that you're not comfortable with. You might feel that it's not actually the right time for you, that there's something, you know, there's better timing ahead of you. Maybe you need to get more savings, you might need to do more research, get more experience and all the rest of it. So don't feel that, you know, there's a lot of like, oh, you must take the risk. But for a lot of people, risk must be timed accurately in order to minimize the destruction in life. So don't feel bad if you ultimately decide you don't want to take a risk. So this is sort of what's on offer, what's going, you know, sort of down for you, you know, ahead if you don't take the risk, if you stay where you are. We have the Ace of Pentacles, that's nice. The Lovers. The Fool. There you go, that's a nice set of cards there. This is what I mean, that sometimes there's opportunities to be had in a different area other than the risky proposition. Ace of Pentacles, there's an opportunity to be had, there's an offer, there's a gift of new abundance. That might be an opportunity to make some money, to start a business, or to explore some sort of physical ability that you have, like a crafting ability or the ability to grow something within you or in your life. It's really a new opportunity. So if you don't take the risk, there's still something to be found in your current situation. For some of you, it is a love situation. You might meet someone and they could be really good for you and you really good for them. For others of you, it's a choice. There is actually a choice still to stay, which I said, but also once you've made the choice to stay, there could be a further choice to be made. You know, like a second choice. It's like, well, okay, I'm staying here, but now, excuse me, what am I going to move towards? What's my new adventure? So within staying, if you're like, no, this risky thing that you're thinking about, no, I'm not going to do it, but I still want a new start, there is still one within rejecting this risky proposition. There's still a new opportunity, a new beginning, a new adventure that you can feel light-hearted about and enthusiastic, and you will lack fear of failure. And for some of you, it is a connection with another person. And you know, for some of you, there's a risky proposition, but there's there's like three opportunities: stay, take risky opportunity, and something else. And so for some of you, don't forget that there's the something else. Don't get clouded down with option A and B. There's actually another opportunity there for you. Opportunity 3. And you can choose that. And for some of you, yeah, it's a romantic option. But not for everybody, because it's such a general reading. So yeah, if it's you have someone that you're interested in, and your risky proposition takes you away from them, you might, think, well, I'd like to stay where I am because there's a potential with this person. Yeah, there is the potential. I mean, it's just potential. Everything's just potential until you put the effort in and make the choices to be with that person. That's why the Lovers also represents choice. But yeah, there's an opportunity to not be frightened of whatever's happening. So that's interesting, because there's a lot to be had by staying where you are with a third opportunity, I honestly believe. This is representative of you taking the risk, the option that you think is the risky one. 2 of Pentacles. So it'll bring you, you'll be juggling, you'll be, spinning plates, you'll be hopping from one foot to the other, changing your mind maybe, trying to balance 2 different aspects of your life, like, home and work. So by taking the risk, you might find that you are stretched a bit thin maybe, between maybe maintaining a relationship that you currently have and doing this new risky thing. Excuse me. We also have the 4 of Cups, so it's going to require a lot of thinking. By taking the risk, you might find that actually you're left alone with your thoughts to ponder on stuff, to reflect on this one cup and ignore the other cups ahead of you. So it's almost focusing maybe on the risk and ignoring the rest of your life. So like, for instance, some of you might have had a new job opportunity that's a great opportunity, but by taking it, you're going to feel torn and conflicted between home and work. And when you're off at work, you're going to be thinking about what you should be doing at home, and when you're at home, you'll be thinking of all the work you've got to go ahead and do. And this is possibly why it's a bit more relaxed staying where you are, because you're not going to feel as stretched or conflicted. We also have the Page of Wands. So it does have a good edge to it, this taking the risk, because what also is in potential is really getting out there and exploring, going out there and flexing your muscles, having fun, being warm-hearted and adventurous. And the page is usually like represented as a bit of a student, somebody that's quite excited about, young and excited about the adventure. It doesn't matter what age you are. But I think this could be quite exciting. So the risky proposition, although you feel conflicted and a bit sort of almost have I done the right thing, sort of going off, being alone, reflective, focusing on one thing and ignoring the others, it is going to be exciting for you. This almost feels like somebody that's got responsibilities, and taking the risky proposition will cause them to neglect their responsibilities for a bit, and they feel a bit guilty about it. That's my interpretation of the combination of cards. That as exciting and as fun as it's going to be, and the opportunities like to be creative, to be an entrepreneur, to get something going, to get out there in the world with your message, your story, with your passion and energy, there's a sense that there'll always be one foot that, trying to hop to get back home or contact home, and that sense of confliction. So that's a tricky one. It's really, again, there are opportunities in both. I've had this as a consistent theme, that there are opportunities in both, but they're just different opportunities. I feel that there's adventure here, but also there is still adventure here with the Fool. That it's the Fool is, come on, let's just go, let's just do it. Whereas the Page of Wands has already got an idea, got a bit of experience, a bit of background, sort of newly qualified, and he's now going to be moving forward. So I do think my overall advice for those of you that chose option 3 is really thoroughly explore all your options. I think I'm going to shuffle and say, what about the third option? Is there anything to be said about the third option? Tell me about the Ace of Pentacles. 2 of Swords. Choice to be made. 10 of Cups, about what makes you really happy and what will allow you to be reborn. I think a lot of you are going to instinctively know what's the right choice, which one will make you happy. You've got to make a choice about what really makes you happy and which is going to allow you to grow and develop and leave the old behind and walking towards the new. We also have at the bottom of the deck the 3 of Swords, which the bottom of the deck for me is always extra information. Excuse me. You got to think about, this is like controlling your emotions, using your thoughts and your words to sort of control how you feel about something. It's like anger management and bracing, pulling yourself together so you don't become hysterical. Some of you might feel that making the choice is going to break your heart, but you have to stop thinking like that and make the choice. You might feel that it's just too emotionally traumatic to make the choice and you can't choose because you don't want to hurt anyone. Well, you've got to stop that and make a choice about what makes you happy and what makes you, able to grow and change and develop and sort of almost what's your purpose, what's your calling, in life or generally, what do you feel called to do, what do you feel is the right thing for you to do at this moment. And a lot of you aren't making the choice, and you can't make the choice, but you need to. So that's your option 3. You've got a choice to make. One of them will make you really, really happy more than the others, and you need to think about what that is. Where will the connection be? The Two of Cups, the unity, and we've had the Lovers as well, so that's obviously pertinent. Where will the connection be? With yourself and with other, where can you get the like-mindedness and the emotional balance? Well, there you go. I'll leave you with that. See what you're going to do. If you want to book a private reading with me, you can. Everything's in the description box, all the information you need. I wish you all the best of luck for the future with your decisions. Please take very good care of yourself. And thank you very much for listening to me. Bye.